Alright, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos on this 500 SEL. It's a pretty cool car, but yeah, today I'm basically going to be getting in here and I'm going to take the fuel tank out, and I'm also going to get the fuel pump assembly taken out from underneath the bottom of the car. Kind of my course of action here is basically I need to get the tank cleaned up, and I've got a new fuel pump coming, and I've also got a new filter for it and all of that. But I want to get that taken care of first, and then we can come up here and we can start worrying about the actual engine in here, because I really don't know anything about this engine except for the fact that it doesn't have any oil in it, any coolant, and it doesn't even have power steering fluid. I do know that. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the fuel system, the tank, the pump and filter and all of that taken care of, and then if it does run, I'm gonna get some of this cooling system cleaner put in with some radiator fluid and all of that, and then I'm going to run some of this seafoam through the system, just because for the fact that just because you clean up the tank and all of that back there does not mean that everything up here is going to be fine. So kind of on that note, I'll go ahead and I'm going to start off by coming back here to the trunk, and we'll get that opened up. And I know it's kind of dark in there, but I'll get a light and we'll basically kind of start back here and start getting it taken apart. But if you like the videos on this old 500 SEL, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe and possibly give my video a like if you enjoyed the video. But on that note, I'll get my camera mounted up, get a couple of lights back here, and we'll get started. Okay, now that I got in here and kind of vacuumed this up just a little bit, I did miss a few things, but that's not what we're really here for. Basically, to get this rear panel out, you've got a bolt there, another one over there, one up there. You've got one right down here, but looking at it, somebody has tried to get this panel out and broke the head off of that bolt. And you also have another one right here, and then one more right over there in the corner. So basically I'll get all 5 of those taken out, and then that whole rear panel in here can come out, and then we can start looking into getting the gas tank out. So yeah, I'll get that pulled out and we'll go from there. Alright, well, that kind of escalated quickly. I was just going to pull that panel off, clear up there at the very back, but at the time, with these inner panels in here in the way, it was just as easy to go ahead and just pull them panels out. I kind of got everything set up over there, but these side panels here are pretty easy to get out. You basically just got to come in here and take out the basically the bulb housing off of the tail lights, and it's just 2 little twist attachments, and that's pretty easy. But up here on the side, some of these cars, I know the brown car, the 300 SD, did not have these clips in there, and this is the clip right here. This just kind of goes up and hangs. Yeah, it just kind of goes up and hangs out here in this rail for the weather stripping. And well, it basically kind of clips up in there and then sits kind of like that right there, and it holds them side panels in place. But yeah, now that we kind of got all of that out of the way, you basically got 2 bolts there and 2 bolts over here on the other side, and I think that's it. There might be something else down here on the bottom, but I don't really see anything. So I'm thinking it's probably just these 2 bolts here, and that tank should pull right out. One thing that you need to look at though is out here on the side of the car is whether or not there's anything attaching the neck to the body of the car, and you can see exactly right there why I'm pulling this tank out. It's got some pretty good rust down on the inside of it, and the smell is just kind of horrible. But yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll get that put back on there. But yeah, and that just kind of goes to show you, this tank on the outside looks brand new. I mean, it looks really good, but you can't go off of what the tank looks like on the outside. You actually have to get in there and take a look inside of it to really judge on how good your fuel tank is. And that's the reason why I'm pulling it. So yeah, I'll go ahead, get them bolts out, and we'll see about getting the tank out. Okay, basically now I need to drain whatever is inside of that tank. Who knows what's in there? Could be gas, could be a lot of water for who knows. But basically, how I'm going to go about doing that, this right here is your line coming from the tank basically to your fuel pump, and then you got your filter up here and all of that. But I'm going to undo this clamp just right here at the end of this line going into the fuel pump, and hopefully this container I got down here, it has enough room in it to hold whatever's inside of that tank. So this could get pretty messy if that tank is full, because whenever I had the battery hooked up to it, it said there wasn't anything inside the tank, but that doesn't mean that fuel sender is working inside the tank. So if you're doing this, you might want to be prepared. That's kind of why I'm taking this clamp off out here, so that hopefully if it fills up my container down here, I could just manage to get that hose back on there a little bit easier. So yeah, I guess here we go. And I would kind of highly recommend, if you're doing this, to wear safety glasses, because you don't want to get gas in your eye, let me tell you. That's not a good time at all. Okay, Now, I'm basically going to have to get up in here with some pliers, and hopefully I can get this line to come off of there and maybe just have it kind of trickle down into my container. We'll see how well that goes. Okay, now that we got all of the gas drained out of the tank, which doing it the way I done it with it just trickling out of there, it did take quite a while because it had right at about 7 gallons, and if you see right here that whatever this was or is inside of that tank. So yeah, basically I'm gonna have to pull all of these fuel lines off and take and get them cleaned up. But before I do that, I want to take this whole fuel pump assembly, the fuel pump and the filter, and basically all of this cover and all of that off of here, just so that it makes it easier to get up there to the lines. But I'm also going to be replacing the fuel pump itself, which is fairly straightforward. You just got a couple of wires coming up here to the back of the pump, and then a few bolts up here that hold this bracket on. So I'll go ahead and start getting all of that undone, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay, so I got the gas tank out and also the fuel pump assembly here. Basically, how this whole fuel pump assembly hooks up to the car, you don't have to undo these lines here to get it out, but you do have to undo the line that comes off of the end of the filter here, and the line coming off of the tank, and this line right here that goes up to your accumulator. And that's pretty simple to do. And then how this whole bracket bolts up on there is just through 3 or 4 holes right here, and I just wanted to take the whole bracket off just to make it a little, well, I say easier. I really wanted to pull that bracket off of there just to get it cleaned up. And I've got my fuel filter here, and yeah, it's just a micro guard. I wanted to run a cheaper filter on it at first, just to make sure that everything gets cleaned out, and then I will be switching over to a I don't know, a better filter on it. So, but yeah, the tank here, basically, the lines that come up to it, you've got 2 that are right here, and this will be over here on the passenger side of the car, because there's your fuel neck. And then you've also got one right there, which I managed to not be able to get this clamp off from underneath the car. So, but that line right there was, well, it was pretty well done, and I'm going to be replacing it anyways. And there's one other thing about these tanks. There's only 4 bolts that hold them in, 2 over here and then 2 over here. But that is not the only thing that holds this tank in. Get it flipped over here, you can see right there, that is basically one of these cushions here, and that is glued to the back of the tank and also to the body of the car. So yeah, it does take it a little bit of work to get that pulled off, and you basically just got to kind of rip the tank out of it to get that to come undone, and your fuel cylinders up there. But what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to take and clean up that tank, just because you should have seen some of the stuff coming out of it. Well, I think it might have been in the video, but that tank had quite a bit of rust in it, even though the tank itself on the outside looks pretty good. You can kind of see there the rust that's on the inside of the tank and on the inside of the cap, but I'm going to use that stuff right there, and I'm going to make a different video on how to basically clean up the tank. And honestly, this video here is starting to get a little long, so I'm probably going to make it a 2-part video. So yeah, kicked over my doorstop there, but one thing that I want to share for now is there will be gas in that tank even after you pull the lines off of it, and this right here is just floor dry that I kind of put down in there on the floor to soak up whatever gas might come out of it, and I was able to get it out without basically dumping a bunch of gas in the car, because there will be about 2 gallons left in the tank even after you drain it. So kind of on that note, I think I will end the video off here, and I'll get that new fuel pump and I'll show you guys how to assemble all of that and get everything put back into the car in the next video. But I'd just like to thank everybody for watching, and you know, subscribe if you haven't yet, because this old 500 SCL has still got quite a bit more work to be done to it, and yeah, I hope you guys hang around to see it. But I guess we'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.